Well, it says I'm live. I'm going over to my settings. It says little dots, so maybe people can hear me. So hopefully somebody will come back over. It was my third try at getting it to work. Sound, can you hear me, Ange? Yes. I started my whole computer again. You know, before I just went out and came back in. Yes! Eureka! I don't know what the deal was. That is so weird. But I have to tell you, we got a new, oh yes, good. People are coming back in. Charmaine and Angie and Craig are back in. Yes. And Ann is back. Hi, Ann. Just one of those weird, crazy things that your computer doesn't want to do what it's supposed to do. Well, we did get a new router, and I've had trouble printing stuff. Now I'm having trouble with sound, but now it's working, and so I'm just not really sure, because it said it was working, but it wasn't working, but now it is. Hello, everyone. I finally mailed your package today. I'm sorry, it took me forever to mail it. I mailed it today. And I did 2-day priority, so you probably won't even get it by Friday. But they know Ruby is here too. And Doug is here. Carol is here. Ann is here. Charmaine, Angie, and Craig. So I'm so happy that you guys, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate it. Ann says, it's happened to me more than I care to say. Just one of those very weird things that, you know, I mean, I was here early, you know, it looked all fine. Thanks for coming in. But tonight is an interesting topic, I think. It's all about work ethics. And I don't want it to be a night of bashing people, because I think sometimes people don't have a work ethic because nobody's taught them to have a work ethic. Now, I'm very blessed that my children, all of my children, are hard workers. Want to know what I attribute it to? Making them pull weeds in the garden. Because it's just those little things that you do. It's just like you're constantly doing stuff. You're constantly trying to get things done. I think your kids see that. But I think sometimes young people, young adults, nobody's ever taught them how to have a work ethic. And actually what it even is. Oh, Doug, that's so nice of you. Oh, Henry, Leslie Vermont is in. And there's Doug's. Nightbot is going to show you all the members. That is an old school thing, literally pulling weeds. It teaches you so very much. My kids, and Angie will attest to this, they complain, pulling weeds, doing stuff in the yard, but all of them like to garden. They love plants. And I'm sure when I was growing up, I complained about having to pull weeds. I'm sure I did. But it's a good thing, Different people. Angie says, as I text Dad yesterday telling him I'm over this whole working thing. She's so funny. She works all the time. Even when she's not working, she's working. And I think it's interesting, but what is work ethic? Now, that doesn't, let's start with what it's not, okay? Oh, that is so nice, Doug. Look at, Doug's been a member for 31 months, and Ann Dale has been a member for 18 months. Awesome. And Jerry's here. Hello, how are ya? Jerry, we're talking about work ethics. So what is it not? Work ethic is not working yourself to the bone that you're totally exhausted. Because I think you can work smart and prioritize, use lists, see what tasks need to be done before the final thing is done. You know, what's going to keep you on track? So, all you guys that are in the chat, that's right, third time's a charm. It's crazy computer today. What's something that makes you have a good work ethic? You know, for me, you know, I like to set goals. I like to do lists. Like, every single day, I have a list. I have everything crossed off but 2 things today. That's good. That's good for me. Though, there are some things on there I didn't put down there because I didn't think I'd get them done today. So what are things that you do to make yourself have a good work ethic? What kind of ideas do you have in your head? Me? I'm doing lists. I'm doing goals. I have a calendar. Like on this coming Thursday, I'm teaching about bugs, bees, and butterflies. So I have been studying what I want to say. You know, I have notes. I'm going to put it all together in a PowerPoint. So there's steps that I have to do to get that ready for that program at the library. And I think that's true, Doug. Show up for work early. Red Scout, hello. How are ya? Henry Leslie, Vermont. Pulled weeds, mowed lawns, and part-time weekend jobs at the general store. See, a lot of times I think, and you guys can tell me if you think I'm totally off base with this. I think it's okay for kids to have jobs. You know, not just chores. I mean, to have a job, to babysit, to mow lawns, to deliver newspapers. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's probably good for them. Jerry says, showing up on time and being respectful to your coworkers. See, that is a good work ethic because you're ready for the day. You're gonna do your best at whatever task it is that you have to do at your job that day. But I think a work ethic goes along not just your 40 hours a week, but other things that you do. You know, like if you're a homesteader, if you have a good work ethic, you're going to continuously do things at your homestead. Do you record these presentations by chance? It saves it for me automatically. And so it pops up over on YouTube. And then I can put it on Facebook. I can do a lot of different things. But it records it and stays for a certain amount of time. So, yes, it does record it. Doug says, be willing to do whatever is asked of you. That's true. And she says, if you're not early, you're late. That's true. I like to be about 15 minutes before I'm supposed to be there. It just makes me feel better. And it doesn't really matter if it's work, or if it's a meeting, or something or even having lunch with somebody. I hate it when I'm late. I mean, it stresses me out to be late. When you're a kid, let me give you an example. It must have been 8 or 9 years ago. I decided I wanted somebody to help me in the yard. And so, a young person, I was willing to pay them a fair wage. You know, I was paying them minimum wage. But I just thought, they're going to work an hour and a half a day, 2 times a week. It's going to give them some money where they couldn't get probably a regular job. And I would teach them about plants and gardening and different things. So I put it on Facebook. And I had so many people respond. You know, that I have a daughter, I have a granddaughter, I have a son, I have this. You know, I literally interviewed kids because I had so many people. But then there were people that didn't, they weren't trying to get their son or granddaughter or whatever a job. They were bashing me that kids that are 10 and 12 years old don't need to be working, don't need to be doing different things, that they're just supposed to be kids and they're just supposed to have fun. Well, I think kids should have fun, but I don't think there's anything wrong with having a job that was a total of 3 hours a week, and you're getting paid minimum wage, and you're going to learn things about gardening and planting and different things like that. And so it was only especially this one woman that just really ranted at me. But on the other hand, I had so many people that I had to literally interview people. So I picked the perfect person. Isaac was his name. And he worked in my yard for 2 summers. Then his brother worked in my yard. Then his next brother worked in my yard. And so it is something that I think is important to do. Oh, and Jake is here too. Hey, Jake. I hope I didn't miss people. Lori says that she can hear me now, so thank you very much. And Charmaine says, my son has a strong work ethic. He is in a position where corporate is asking if he wants to be a boss or a leader. A boss dictates and a leader persuades. He hates to baby them to do their job. It's difficult to be a boss right now. My sister and her husband own several very large companies. And it is difficult for them to find workers, and they're paying them good money to do a good job. But this isn't about any of that. We want to do positive things. What can we do? What can we share that maybe somebody has an idea that, wow, maybe I can look at it in that perspective and be even better with my work ethic. Craig says, my parents and grandparents played a big part in my work ethic. I think that's true. People around you can really make a difference. And it can be, a mentor, it can be a neighbor, it can be a parent, it can be older siblings. I read once that President Roosevelt once said that the worst thing that happened to the United States was that children no longer worked. Now, he was not saying that, how the kids worked in the cotton mills and and it was horrible conditions. He was not talking about that. He was talking about that kids no longer helped with the income of a situation, a family situation. Now, back then, was there total abuse of kids working? Yes. But there's a balance. And nowadays, if kids work, they just think it's their money. I think that should be a little bit of a balance too. Because maybe there's part of that fund the parent should take and put in a college fund or a car fund for when they're later, or however it is that they're going to work that out. Doug says that back in the early 1800s, 12-year-olds did a lot, including one young man was given control over a captured sailing ship. That is awesome. Oh, you're asking if they do record the library presentations. We rent this big camera system from, it's a city, GPA is what it's called. And then it goes on Campbell County Master Gardeners on YouTube. And it does take them a little while before they get it uploaded. But yes, you can see that. And I'll send you an email when they have it up with the link. And so then you can watch it. But it should be way fun. And usually, when we do presentations, it's not for kids too. We do things with kids, but these library presentations are not for kids. But this time, I thought we should involve the kids in there, so we have a whole section about what kids can do all summer long looking for bugs, bees, and butterflies. So it should be just so much fun. And actually, I'll post that on the community tab too when it's uploaded, and so that you guys can learn about bugs, bees, and butterflies. I guess it's called bees, bugs, and butterflies. It's so much fun. Oh, see, this is a good idea. Angie says, for me, having a financial goal is what pushes me. I love having financial independence. Everybody's got to pick what it is that drives them. You know, maybe you have a goal at your job that you want to be in this position, and you're here and you'd like to be in this position. There's nothing wrong with being in the same position your entire time that you're working. If that makes you happy, if that fulfills you, there are people that are leaders and bosses, and there are people that aren't. It's not right or wrong. It's just, what do you want to do? Charmaine says, McDonald's will hire 14, 15-year-olds for very part-time. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, if you can learn something, it's always so important when the young people start their first jobs, that they have good bosses, that they have people that will really push them and strive them to learn to have a work ethic. You know, that if you're a boss, if you can, you know, tell them when they're doing a good job. Maybe they're not doing a good job. What can you do? How can you say it that's different, that will lift them up, instead of pushing them down and it's like they just don't even want to do it. They're just going to get their paycheck and they're not even going to work. So I think when you work with people, you can really help them. And, Julie's here. Hello. Couldn't figure out why my phone had 3 lives. Well, that's because I didn't have any sound. So, I ended up having to turn my computer completely off and come back in, but it's working now. So that was just craziness. I had trouble this morning when I was on a meeting. So sometimes it just happens that way. Good balance of work and play is good for you, I think. I think that's true. You know, I can be really a workaholic, and it can be a negative. You know, that I have a hard time going, okay, I'm not doing any of this stuff right now. Me and Joe are just going to go have some fun. And it's not like we don't do that, but we should do it more. We're supposed to be retired. But, I think that's true. People have to get trained, you know, and sometimes I think it's hard because people are busy, and it's just easier to not train somebody. I truly appreciate all the wisdom that comes across from all involved here. Good ideas, you know, like financial goal, a different position goal. Maybe it's a goal that, you know, you're going to work extra hours, you're going to do this extra stuff for something that you need in your house, a vacation, college, school, whatever it is. You have to decide what it is that's going to motivate you, because when you have that motivation, you will have a better work ethic. You will be there on time. You will do your stuff. Angie says, I had the best first boss, you at Sakura. That was a restaurant we had. And I think it's not a bad idea that young people be waiters or waitresses. The reason is that the better you are at your job, the more tips you can make. And I think it kind of starts to instill in you. You kind of start going, oh, you know, going that extra mile makes a big financial difference to me. Or it just depends on the job. If you can have somebody that's willing to teach, if you can be that teacher to somebody else. You know, a lot of us are older now. What can we do to give a work ethic to younger people? Now, it may be a little bit harder now. It could be. You know, just our society is a little bit different now. And over the past few years, so many people have been able to work at home. Some people are very motivated. They have a really good work ethic, and they can work at home. Other people, I think, it's probably not good for them. You know, a lot of people need that social interaction, the actual seeing, touching, feeling other people around them. So you got to figure out what's best for you. What can you do? What can you strive for to have the best work ethic you can? I'm going to grab a piece of paper that I printed off. It finally only printed. It was crazy. Now, this is some of the things that they say. Like, Angie loves working at home. That's awesome. But she has a good work ethic, so it's easy for her. Ann says, my first job was a soda jerk at Howard Johnson's restaurant. I had ice cream from head to toe. That is awesome. And Doug says that he wishes he could work at home all the time. Now, this is, I found this online, and I thought it was really interesting. Things that will get our factors in a good work ethic. Goal-oriented actions. So, what's your goal? Why are you doing it? I think that's a good idea. Prioritizing to keep you on focus. So, what do I have to do? What are my steps to get this done, this job done? Being available and reliable. Because a lot of times it's good to work as a team. You're not just working for yourself, you're working as a team. Consciousness, and a desire to do a task well, being vigilant and organized. Now, some of us are more organized than other people. That's just the facts. To keep me organized, I love lists. That's what helps me get organized. That's how I can get more things done, because I love checking that off. Actually, I use the screen marker. Sometimes I use yellow, but lately it's been the screen marker. And when I can draw a line through that job done that day, I'm just so excited about it. And then this one I thought was really interesting. This is called creating a reward routine or system. Engaging in tasks that provide strength and energy which can transfer to your ultimate goal. Creating a habit or habitat for success. I thought that was interesting. But probably the thing I think you have to have, a positive attitude. Whatever job you're doing, you gotta wanna do it. Now, sometimes part of the job is not fun. You just gotta get through that part. Doug says, the more I work with people, the more I don't want to work with people. Doug! Sometimes life is just hard. You know, sometimes you got to get through that. And, you know, what's the ultimate goal, though? Julie says, my mom found me my first non-babysitting job. I had a much better work ethic at jobs I found for myself. I think that's probably true, because you're looking for the niche that fits you. Our parents always have an idea of what our best job could be. But we have to do it what's good for us, you know, what's good for our family, our situation. But, you know, mom and dads, they're always trying to help us, you know. Doug says, same with neighbors. Doug, it just depends on your neighbor. I tell ya, we're getting new neighbors. They still have not moved in. The people that had the dogs that were always digging under our fence, they bought a bigger house up the street. But they have crews of people working for days and days and days. They ripped all the carpets out. They're putting flooring in. They're doing all kinds of stuff. So we'll see how our new neighbors are, you know. But I understand sometimes. I know. That's right, Doug. Wish we were neighbors. I think it's important for us to have a good work ethic, because if we have a negative work ethic, because sometimes you just have a bad day. Just the facts. You have a bad day. But sometimes I think we forget how that bad day trickles over to other people. Maybe we're snappy, Maybe we didn't get the part of the job that we were supposed to get done in a timely manner. And it affects the team that's doing the whole job together. So sometimes we have to really go, I'm getting to work early, I'm having a bad day, but I'm not going to have that stop. I'm not going to have it affect negatively on other people. I'll deal with my stuff afterwards. Now, sometimes that's easier said than done, because somebody can trigger you. But I think the more you do it, the more you practice that, the better it gets. Doug, I agree. Doug's saying the Bible says that we are to work as unto the Lord, not unto man. And I think that is a good philosophy, because a lot of times we're in a situation, the job is tough, but you're supposed to be there. And if you can change your perspective even a little bit, if you look at it in a different way, that job can be a lot easier to handle. And then sometimes you just got to sit back and go, okay, this job, this is hard. This is not working the way it's supposed to. Okay, so what can you do to change that situation? Is it your attitude? Is it you don't have enough information? Do you not have enough resources or the things that you need to perform that job? Sometimes you just got to ask for help. But asking for help is part of having a good work ethic, because within yourself, okay, that's not something I can do to be successful. I need some help in that. And so I think that's a good thing. A work ethic I think it's a belief in work. I think it's a belief that it's good to have a job. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a job that's 9 to 5. If you're a homesteader, that job you're doing all the time, day after day, all those different chores, all those things to make it to your goal, that's a work ethic. It doesn't have to necessarily be in another building or someplace else. It can be right at your house. Doug says, don't be afraid to ask for help to get your microphone working. That's right. And Doug said, go reboot. Just one of those weird things. It was frustrating though, because you want everything to go exactly as planned. And she's laughing. Because you try the little different settings, you try to do all that stuff. And because I guess that's part of the work ethic. You want it to work the way it's supposed to. Charmaine says, I always arrive early, stay late if needed, come in on days off if needed. We call it writing for the brand. I think that's true, Now, within that work ethic also, don't let a job or a situation pull you too far beyond what you should be doing. Because sometimes whoever you work for, they look at you and they go, oh, they're a worker. They're a worker bee. But there's always a balance. And it's okay to sometimes say, I'm sorry, I just can't do that. I can do these things, but I can't work X amount of extra hours. What can we do? Who else can pull in to do some of those things? It doesn't always have to be one person. Doug says that he always tries to help others at work. Go out of my way to help. I think that people that have a good work ethic, that is just instilled in them. You always want to help people. you know. But Doug, you got a good heart. That's why you want to too. No, it's already 30 minutes. And a lot of you guys know, if you are members, that I have kind of backed up off of so many videos. I had some good advice from some people, Angie included, and some other people in here. And so for sure, always Monday night. So next week it is all on how to change someone's life this week. So think about how you can change somebody's life, big, small, just whatever. So we're going to talk about that next week. But I am having a video tomorrow afternoon I'll do it. And it's all about potatoes. Because I found through conversations that people don't realize that different potatoes are supposed to do different things. You know, there are bakers, there are ones to boil, there's the ones that you should make your french fries with. And so we're just going to do a little video on that kind of things. And so, that's right. Don't neglect your family for a job. They are more important. And that's a hard thing for me because I am kind of a workaholic, you know. Maybe I am better now than I was before, but I try to make folks laugh at work. I always say that I'm the corporate cheerleader. And people with good work ethics always are cheerleaders. You know, they are always helping people. But Doug says he likes taters. I'm going to let you go. It's 31 minutes, and actually it's longer than that because I had to start over. Third time is a charm. But I will see you next time. And I hope you guys have a great week, that maybe you found some information that makes you even have a better work ethic. Reagan is barking. I got to turn the lights back on my hydroponics. And I hope you guys have a great night. Bye, everybody. See you next time.